See, I told you we should have left earlier. Don't worry, we just missed the previews. But I like the previews, so watch it on your phone. Stop being a baby.
Tickets.
3, please.
You 3 together?
I mean, we're not together.
Theater 1 on your right.
Welcome to First Look.
We're trying to watch the movie!
Recorded live from the deepest and darkest sewers of your minds. This is Last in Line, the only show on the internet that kills with laughter. And now your hosts.
Hey, welcome one and all to Last in Line Halloween edition. That's right, spooktacular creeps. It's October, and that means we're counting down the best of the worst Halloween movies all month long. Tonight, we're getting scared stupid. But before we go any further, let's catch up with the guys. At the table tonight, joining me as always, it's Nat Martin. Hey, Nat.
Welcome to Halloween. I don't know. I'm excited for October because I like horror movies and stuff.
But do you like the ones we're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I do love, Ernest Scared Stupid. That's the movie we're doing for the movie Scope, which is, I got plenty of stuff to talk about.
But, it's one of those movies that I watch every year and I ask myself, why do you keep doing this to yourself?
See, the last time I saw it was 10 years ago, but I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, that every year, every Halloween, it's Scared Stupid for me, and every Christmas, it saves Christmas.
Oh, well.
All right, well, you know what? Joining us on the other side of the table, it's Andy Reyes. Hey, Andy.
Hey. Glad to be here. What?
Are you a big fan of scary movies?
Of scary movies?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Don't do that to him. He's got to drive home tonight. It's okay.
What's it called? Showgirls.
Oh,
terrifying.
Ooh, chills.
That pool scene. Ooh. This is one of the scariest scenes in all cinema history.
Oh, okay.
All right. You guys, we're going to jump right in because we got a lot of stuff that we got to cover tonight. Last week when we played Taglines, I lost. I know, everyone is shocked. If you are a new listener to this program, I'm not very good at Taglines, and I'm okay admitting that. Andy, however, beat me and made me watch. Andy, why don't you tell them what happened last week?
Yes, I crushed you.
I wouldn't say crushed. It wasn't a shutout.
No, it wasn't.
It was not a shutout.
It was not a shutout.
No, it was not. It wasn't a perfect game. But, yep, I beat you at Taglines, and I made you watch the first episode, the pilot episode of Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, you guys, I was super thrilled to watch this show. How this show works is, at the beginning of every episode, the loser of Taglines has to watch a TV show of whatever the winner chooses. Andy made me watch Pretty Little Liars, and now, having no knowledge into the show, I'm required to do a review. However, Andy was kind enough to give me the pilot, so possibly I could get into it. Let's see if I did. Guys, this is Pretty Little Liars, Season 1, Episode 1. It's a dark and stormy night, and our 4 main characters are getting drunk in a barn. They black out, and then when they wake up, one of them is missing. The girls stop being friends, and we jump forward in time. We meet up with Lucy Hale, and her family is moving back to the town where the disappearance happened. Lucy Hale goes to a bar and fucks a stranger. The stranger turns out to be her new teacher. All the girls start getting anonymous text messages about things that they flash back to from their past with the missing girl, signed by a mysterious A. Turns out the girl's dead, and they all go to her funeral, where they tell each other about the text messages they've been getting, and the show ends. Okay. Now that that's out of the way...
Wait, that was the whole episode?
That was the whole episode.
I have so many questions.
Well, hang on. Now that that's out of the way, let me give you a real review of this show. Use this review as a cautionary tale as to why you shouldn't watch this late third-term abortion of a show.
Ooh,
Ready? The dialogue in this show is atrocious. Every writer on this show is either missing a brain cell or a 10th grader whose English teacher overly encouraged them to pursue writing. The characters on this show are the most unlikable characters ever put down on paper. They're all whiny, self-entitled, rich douchebags. It's the same shallow, self-obsessed, bullshit quality characters one would expect from Laguna Beach. This show is the equivalent of the 50 Shades franchise. Shallow characters with zero development, middle school level writing with a story that's been telegraphed every step of the way that leaves no room to keep you guessing, and it's all wrapped up in a neat little bow of sex appeal and teenage melodrama. Everything about this show is mediocre. The acting is especially mediocre. The script sure doesn't help, but they could at least try. The amount of mailing it in these performances is unbelievable. I imagine the director was on set the entire time counting a stack of money going, yeah, that's fine, move on. We're doing this in one take. One take, guys. One take. Okay? Here's my prediction for the rest of the series. Andy, you've seen this show, so I need you to tell me if I'm right or wrong.
I've seen...
Yeah, tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
Here's my prediction for the rest of the series. A is the dead girl's family member, a brother or a sister, and when the show ends, it all comes full circle, and it goes back to that stupid stormy night in the barn. Am I right?
I can't remember about... It goes back to that night in the barn a couple times. It's so hard to tell because there's a different A pretty much every season.
There's not one A throughout the entire, so I'm wrong?
No, I've only seen the first season all the way through. But
what happens at the end of the first season?
At the end of the first season,
you find out who A is?
You find out who A is.
Is it a brother or a sister?
A is. No.
The first A is the dead girl, right?
No.
Who's the first A?
The first A is Mona.
I don't know who that is.
The geek girl who became popular and hung out with.
Is that the one who does her sister's boyfriends?
What?
I don't know. Look, so am I right or wrong?
I don't know.
Am I close?
Quit looking at me.
Okay, I'll tell you this. In the end of the series, you find out that Spencer, one of the friends, her real mom is Allison's twin. Allison's mom's twin.
The dead girl.
Yes, her mom had a twin sister. And she had Spencer, but then Spencer also has a twin sister. And so it's Spencer's twin sister who is like the main A of the whole thing.
You're right, Kevin. This is terrible.
Is she a brother or sister of the dead girl?
Yes, she's a half-sister.
So I'm right. See?
But she's not dead.
This whole show was so telegraphed.
Okay,
like,
hold on.
From the very beginning, I was like, I know it's going to happen. We don't even need to waste time asking me if I'm going to continue to watch this show, because I assure you I won't be. The official Kevin rating for this show is dog shit. Or as I like to say, my kid has had more interesting things in her diaper. This show is bad, and if you like it, you should feel bad. Look, guys, we got a lot of stuff to cover still, so we're going to keep on moving. We got to do the movie news.
It's a movie news rundown, and it seems to me, with all these movies coming out, there's too much to see. And we ain't giving you a list of our Oscar picks. We're just telling you which ones look like dope best flicks.
This is the movie news rundown. You guys, what we like to do here is we like to look back at some of the big stories happening in the world of Hollywood every week. This week, kicking things off, you guys, the Fast and the Furious is in the news again.
So much drama.
If you've listened to this show before, you know that the three of us are big fans of the Fast and Furious franchise. We love it. We hate it. We've cried. We've laughed.
We've
talked endlessly about it.
Yes.
Endlessly. But before we get carried away, you guys, Fast and the Furious 9 has now been given a release date of 2020. That's right. 2020, you could expect yet another Fast and the Furious movie. But, guys, it wouldn't be a Fast and the Furious movie without a little drama. Mm-hmm. Last year, we had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Vin Diesel fighting. Now, Tyrese is jumping in on it. Tyrese posted on his Instagram this week a picture that said, #F9, April 10th, 2020. But his description in his photo said, "Congratulations to The Rock and your brother-in-law, aka $7 producing partner, for making the last Fast and the Furious franchise about you. Good night, folks. See you in 2020. April, #Fast Family, right? Nah, it's about Team Dwayne." This dude is a little petty.
What he's talking about, Andy, the reason why they're doing, why the movie's coming out in 2020 is because there's a spin-off movie in the works for Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham.
Is that one supposed to come out before Fast 9?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Tyrese is all butthurt over this whole spin-off when he was offered a spin-off and he didn't take it. So let's just take a second. Let's focus in, like, not on the spin-off. how are we feeling about this 2020 release date?
I really don't care about it. Like, I read that tweet and I'm like, yeah, dude, sorry you're not going to get a paycheck next year. Like,
I think you'll be okay.
yeah.
I think you'll be okay.
Nat, 2020, can you wait for Fast 9?
Yes, I can.
Are you going to be waiting furiously?
No.
I'm not filing
The
that.
last movie wasn't all that great. I'm more excited for the Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham spinoff. Then I'm more excited for that movie.
All right, you guys, what we want to do here is we want to take a few seconds to talk about not Fast and the Furious so much, but we want to talk about who could replace The Rock. We don't want to wait till 2020, I think, is the group consensus. So we're going to take a second and we're going to give you 3 former WWE superstars who could replace The Rock in Fast 9 so that we could get it to theaters a little bit quicker. Andy?
Okay, well, first off, I mean, I don't know wrestling too much, so I don't know if she was actually in the WWE.
I'll tell you.
But my pick is Stacy Keibler.
Yeah.
Comes in as a special agent, Sarah O'Connor, the sister of the late Brian O'Connor, and she has a vendetta against the Fast Crew because she blames them for corrupting her brother. But obviously, she's going to come in, and anyone that comes in and tries to come after these guys, they always fall in love with them, and they always become family.
That's how it goes. You guys, mine's very close. It's similar. I say we kill The Rock off screen. Someone comes in off screen and goes, "Oh no, Hobbs is dead. He was killed in a car crash."
Oh, so sad.
And Tyrese is like, what?
Yes. And Tyrese is shocked and confused, like he didn't know it was in the script. Now, who do we replace The Rock with? We replace The Rock with none other than WWE diva Lita. That's right. Lita, guys. We see her moonsaulting on and off screen. We got the gun fingers taunt. She's gonna be. We take this opportunity to introduce Lita as a new love interest for Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, I like that
We get a
angle.
little drama
Yeah.
between Vin Diesel
And Michelle,
Lita
yeah.
and Michelle. We get that nice love triangle.
Yeah.
We didn't get that with The Rock. No, sir. That's my pitch. Nat?
Did you pick a diva too?
No, I didn't. But I have to applaud
Hashtag
you
smash
guys.
the patriarchy.
Yeah, I have to applaud you guys. I went with, if we can't have The Rock, who can be similar to The Rock? I picked Stone Cold Steve Austin. Only for the fact that I want him to act the same way he did in the WWE, stunning people and drinking beer. That's all he does. Like, I want him. I want him is just like stun people and just crack. And then like,
Can we see him stun a souped up Honda?
Yes, but I want the running joke.
He doesn't lose fights. It's in his
like
contract.
if you don't watch wrestling, he sometimes calls for beers and people toss him beers.
Uh-huh.
I want the running joke in the movie, like he calls for beers and off screen just gets tossed, and Tyrese just goes, "Where does he keep getting those beers?"
That's good. That's so good. Oh man.
Alright, you guys. Something else that's been happening this week is Jason Blum from Blumhouse is in the news. He wants to make a Pretty Woman horror comedy. This is something that I'm totally on board with.
Yeah.
In the wake of Happy Death Day, Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions has another idea for a horror movie that could use the comedy treatment. Pretty Woman. Andy, what do you think about this?
I think it's funny. I feel like the way that they'll probably go about it is make it very self-aware to the fact that anyone in this actual situation probably wouldn't have a happy ending. It'd probably end up getting killed by this creepy guy and have their skin worn as a suit. Like, even just watching the original movie, I'm like, this guy's kind of creepy. Like girls like this guy in this movie.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Richard Gere did kill her at the end of that movie.
No, I never liked the movie either way, and I hated that women are like, oh, it's so romantic.
Yeah, Matt. Hashtag topple the patriarchy.
He paid her because she was a hooker for the weekend.
Yeah. No, she with a heart of gold.
Yeah, a hooker with a heart of gold.
But yeah, because sometimes now you got to do things to pay your bills. I know you don't understand what that's like, but sometimes.
Hold on. Hashtag feminism.
Yeah, and that spawned the awful storyline of the Romeo and Michelle prequel where they go to Hollywood to become prostitutes. To be picked up by a rich man.
Yes.
Well, sometimes you get Richard Grieco, and sometimes you don't. Ooh. Right, sometimes you get Scott Baio.
Hey, this movie idea could be actually pretty good. The way I envisioned it was he gets her, like, you know, she's still a hooker and stuff, but she finds out that he's a serial killer, and he's like, you know what? I'm down with it. Let's do some killing. And then just go around town killing people.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, you know what? All right, you guys, we're going to take 60 seconds. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock. And what we're going to do is we are going to name as many chick flick rom-coms as we can that would make better horror movies. So, 60 seconds is on the clock. Andy, take it away.
My first one is When Harry Killed Sally.
Nat.
I want to do Legally Blonde, but instead of when she goes to meet the cute guy, finds out that the cute guy belongs to the Skulls because they go kill people and stuff. But she still loves them.
Couples retreat, but there is a killer that's loose, and it's one of the couples on the retreat.
Ooh.
The Notebook, but in this twist, when he finds out that she's engaged to another man, he snaps and goes and kills everybody.
All about Steve and his dead bodies.
Let's go with Something About Mary, but the Something About Mary is that she's a killer.
The Awful Truth is I Want to Kill Katherine Heigl.
I can't come on my own. Go. The Glass House, you find out that Sandra Bullock's the killer instead of Keanu Reeves.
You mean the Lake House?
Yeah, the Lake House. You mean The Ugly Truth?
I said The Ugly Truth.
You said The Awful Truth. And that's time. Guys, we did not come up with
I also had You've Got Mail meets the Craigslist Killer.
Oh, that's good. We didn't do so well this time.
I lost it because I thought, it's not the untold truth. It's not.
Is that movie called The Awful Truth?
It's The Ugly Truth.
You knew what I meant.
I knew what you meant.
All right.
I would have done Knocked Up, but the baby kills her on the way out.
That's not a horror movie. That's just dramatic. Like, oh.
He does it with a knife.
Oh, the baby?
Yeah. There's your anatomy lesson.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. We're going to move on. Speaking of the Glass House, Glass is in the news, you guys. M. Night Shyamalan is currently shooting his next movie, Glass. It is a continuation of Unbreakable. It is the sequel to Unbreakable and Split. Nat, what are you thinking about this, man? How are you feeling about Glass?
Well, it goes without saying, if you've not seen the movie Split, spoiler alert, the ending, you find out that the movie takes place in the same universe, or I guess the same location of Unbreakable. Mm-hmm. Which, and you see Bruce Willis in the lounge, in the restaurant, and you find out that the movie was just a setup for a villain, for him to kind of take down. So, and then people got excited. I got kind of excited.
That was a better twist than, it's the trees!
I know. Right? It's the trees all along!
Look, at the end of that movie, if I heard, I knew a guy like that once, I would have been like, oh, it's Bruce Willis. And that would have been that. I didn't see Unbreakable, so I would have...
You haven't seen Unbreakable?
No.
It actually is a pretty good movie.
Look, when I think of that era Samuel L. Jackson, I think of Shaft, and I could do the same thing to you. You haven't seen Shaft? But I won't.
Shaft is a good movie, I will say.
I won't, because I'm a good friend.
Well, see, this is a good way for you to go watch them back to back, because I know when Unbreakable first came out, some people didn't get it at first, but what it really is a hero's origin story.
Yeah. Right. Essentially, it's his
version and Split. You go into it thinking, oh, it's a horror film, but then you find out it's a villain's horror story. So this is them coming together, and they're going to bring in Samuel L. Jackson's character too.
Can I level with you guys? I haven't seen Split yet either.
Oh, it's
I've been busy.
Have you seen Split?
Yeah,
I did see Chopping Mall.
That's the best. That is the best M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like, that's him coming back to what he does best.
Right. Well, and I passed on Split for the longest time because I was like, okay, well, we had Last Airbender, we had The Happening, and I just didn't have any faith in them. But the more everyone talked about it, I was like, I should probably see this. But the more you talk about it, I'm like, well, I can't live up to the hype now.
No, I wasn't.
I will watch it. But,
I was in the same crowd. But did you see The Visit?
Because again, I like to sleep at night.
It's not that. It's PG-13. It's not. It's creepy. I say it's more creepy than scary.
Yeah, but you're the guy who got scared about The Fourth Kind and Signs.
Split's not scary either.
I have a fear of aliens.
Split's more of a thriller.
I have a fear of demons and Ouija boards.
Ooh, don't play with that, bro.
Don't play with... Well, speaking of playing, you guys, we got another game to play. We're picking another director that is continuing this trend of directors coming back to their properties and combining their movies to create a universe like M. Night did with Unbreakable Unbreakable and Split. This time, you guys, we're picking a director, and we're combining two of their movies that we want to see in a shared universe. Nat, give us what you've got.
Oh, so I went back. Sorry, I was kind of debating back and forth of who I was going to go with and stuff. I went with director Steven Henrik. If you don't know him, he did Man of the House, which I really like that movie, and he also did The Chaperone with Triple H. And I want to combine. Imagine Man of the House. He's still taking care of the cheerleaders from Texas, and he's still a U.S. Marshal or Texas Ranger. But the Triple H, he's got to be the chaperone for these cheerleaders. So Triple H and Tommy Lee Jones has to work together because there's a killer trying to kill the cheerleaders.
Ooh, that does sound killer. Andy, did your film beat his? Is it more killer than that?
Actually, there is a killer in mine. I took two of David Fincher's movies, Fight Club and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Now, in my premise, it's been almost 20 years since Tyler Durden has been killed off, essentially. But after a string of murders, the Edward Norton's character thinks that Tyler Durden might have come back, and so he hires Rooney Mara's character from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo to follow him and go dig deep and try to figure out if Tyler Durden has come back.
That's good. You guys, I'm about to take it one step further. I picked the unlikely candidate, Zack Snyder. I'm taking his beautiful film, Legends of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Okay.
And it is now a part of the 300 universe. Ooh. In this shared universe, the 300 Owls of Ga'Hoole have left Ga'Hoole and are now the Owls of Sparta. This time, the Owls of Sparta are fighting the Persian Owls. The Persians have trained owls to infiltrate Sparta and do their fighting for them. So now the Spartans need an army of owls of 300 owls. And with that, you guys, we're talking about Ernest Scared Stupid.
What you want in the movies go? What in all of your movies go? The Friday sun, twisting all those butts. I bet CGI. We're gonna make your movie cry. The end of the line for you, shortchange. Aloha. Sayonara. El Rancho Grande. Your history, pal. You're Elvis. Let's see how you like a little Miak. Yeah, Miak. I bet you thought I couldn't find any this time of year. Well, I'm a little too resourceful for you, a little too light on my feet. So come on, eat Miak and die.
All right, you guys, this is Under the Movie Scope, and like we said, we are talking about one of the greatest Halloween movies of all time to feature a hillbilly redneck truck driver who drives a trash can and he befriends tons of children.
He's the trash man. He's the trash man.
What did I say?
You local truck driver. Oh, I don't know. You gave him way more fancier title than he's just a garbage man.
I'm sorry, are you just a garbage man?
I'm more than just a garbage man.
Damn right. So is Ernest.
Apparently he's a garbage man who waits for garbage to happen and then goes to it.
And also an inventor.
That doesn't really work in real life, doesn't it?
No.
Our garbage man.
Alright, you guys, we are talking about Ernest Scared Stupid, one of the best movies of the 1990s that features a dog who can drive trucks. You gotta let me finish.
Okay.
I'm never gonna call this one of the best movies of all time. Now, let's just kick things off, man. You know an Ernest movie means business when it starts off with a period piece.
Oh yeah,
this thing kicks off and it's like
back old
long ago.
I love, yeah, long. I love that it just says the location and then it goes long ago.
Yeah, it's just nothing else. It's just, hey guys, don't forget this happened a while ago. And at the very beginning of this thing, I love that the little girl giving her history report in the beginning of the movie. Can we talk about that actress? How she grows up to become Tommy's girlfriend, his super feminist girlfriend in Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that's her?
Yeah, Shay Astor.
No, I didn't know about that.
You say grows up, that's probably like 3 years later.
No way, dude. She grows up. It's, again, shared universe. She grows up to live in a world where aliens and trolls exist.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I will say her scene in her bedroom, where the troll comes and gets her. Oh. That's a legit scare.
Yeah, like that's like a jump scare.
That is like
that got me still.
That was actually really good, and the pacing and like the music score is actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wasn't
it's been a
expecting
while
that
since
at all.
I've seen this, and going back,
Even though I've seen it a million times.
I had two thoughts going back and watching this. One is that it was actually like kind of smart. It got a little dumb at points, but there were some points where it was kind of smart.
It was a smart Ernest movie.
I feel I get what you mean because I feel like they dumb it down.
It wasn't like they weren't just, it wasn't like bad writing. Like they were going for a specific thing. And another point that I realized is that Jim Varney is actually a good actor.
Yes, really good.
Yeah. I'll touch on it in a little bit.
No, but I was telling Kevin the movie because I saw this movie 10 years ago. Like that's the last time I rewatched it. Rewatching it, it totally plays like an Evil Dead movie. Like Ash could have played Jim Varney's part as Ernest, but you're right. The reason like they had to dumb it down because they're like, oh no, we're making a kids movie. Like we gotta like put some gags and fart jokes. Like because if you take all that, it's still a good, legit, scary monster movie.
Yeah.
But the plot to this movie is the fact that Ernest's ancestors trapped this troll in the ground under the tree. And so the troll puts a curse on the entire Ernest family so that the ancestors of the guy who traps the troll will just keep getting dumber and dumber and dumber. Can you imagine what Ernest's son would look like?
Oh my god.
Like Ernest P. Worrell Jr. That I want to see a movie that follows that storyline, that follows his son around, because that entire movie would be 90 minutes of just a guy sitting, giggling, and farting in a bathtub.
You mean like a Larry the Cable Guy?
That entire movie would just be. I mean, if this is to keep going and they just keep getting dumber, that movie has no hope, and I want to see that one.
Well, that was for me. That was the only kind of plot hole in the movie, is that they kind of would have had to make them curse them to get dumber and dumber and dumber, because apparently there's a book out there that tells you how to bring the troll back. Who has
knocks on the tree?
Who has to kill them? How to kill them? What kills them?
Can we also? Does anyone else think Ernest might be on the spectrum?
Yeah, I did think about that. No, it did run through my head because I got another question. When he does the voices and the characters I envision that's what he imagines the voice. Like when he does the Australian voice, that's what he imagines what he looks like.
Yes.
But to the kids and people in real life, he's just doing funny voices.
I am pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure that Ernest has multiple personality disorder.
The kid says it in the movie.
He says it in the movie.
Yeah.
Look, I put that in my notes. That is in my notes. I am pretty sure that he has multiple personality disorder. I'm thinking those scenes where he puts on costumes and does the different characters, I'm pretty sure that the kids can't actually see the costumes. I think it's all in Ernest's head.
Yeah.
And he truly believes that the people that he's pretending to be are real. And the quick scenes where he's slipping back and forth real quick, I think that's his mind just going further and further, deeper down the rabbit hole.
To make a callback, I think I
think something happened to him as a child, something terrible.
Yes.
And we need a prequel Ernest movie that shows him being abused.
To make a callback, okay, I think M. Night Shyamalan should have written Split. Because in the movie Split, the way to get him back to his real personality is to say his full real name. I think he should have written his full real name is Ernest P. Worrell.
It is Ernest P.
No, in Split.
And in the movie, when he does his different characters, he does dress the part, not as like colorful as Ernest does. Like when he does like a British lady, he wears like a sweater and a dress.
Look, at the end of this movie, the kid goes.
That's just another way.
The kid is like freaked. Not freaked out, but the kid's like, "Oh, great! I got to work with a multiple personality." Then when it's all over, after they beaten the trolls, he tells Ernest, "You're a great group of guys," with an S.
Yeah. This movie is smarter than it looks.
I'm pretty sure he's somewhere on the spectrum.
Now, I texted you guys. I don't know if you read the book or the graphic novel called Cowboy Ninja Viking. Or it's a guy with multiple personalities, but like he only has those three.
Yeah.
I wanted Ernest because Ernest can totally play a cowboy, a ninja, and a Viking. And that's
Jim Varney.
Yeah, Jim Varney and stuff, and the
late Jim Varney.
Oh, I know. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Can we also talk about? I don't know if you caught it or not, but it was real quick. At one point in this movie, somebody calls Rimshot the dog Rim Job.
Yes.
It's real quick. And then you hear it once, and I couldn't, the rest of this movie, all I kept thinking was Rim Job every time someone called for that dog.
I thought I heard it, but I thought that was my ears playing with me.
No, someone calls that dog Rim Job. And they left it in the movie. They were just like, no one will catch it.
No, because like the first time he's saying it, I'm like, what is he saying? Is it rim job or rim shot? And then you see the name. He has a dog house with the dog, and it says rim shot.
Isn't a rim shot a quickie rim job? But anyways, can we talk about how?
Do you think the troll was lactose intolerant? Is that why milk could kill the troll?
I think so. That's what it made it look like.
Oh.
Well, what I want to talk about is what I believe to be a scene where Ernest legitimately kills a guy. Okay.
With the bowling ball?
Yes.
Yes.
He threw the ball.
And it like sweat flying down the dude's head.
Yes. And you never see that guy again.
In multiple spots.
He just gets knocked out and you never see him again. And from that height, that guy's dead. Or brain dead.
He just acted dizzy. No, that dude's skull is fractured.
He killed the guy.
Oh, I'm so glad that you saw that too.
No, I didn't see it, but again, because it's that silly, you have these moments of slapstick comedy. Sometimes you just don't think about it, and you're just like, okay, because the one scene where he's finding the troll in the car, and he ends up finding the troll in the back, and you're like, well, who's driving the truck?
Yes, I put that in my notes too. That is in my notes.
You see
how did that dog drive?
No, you see,
he puts it in reverse.
Oh yeah, and then reverse and full force, like he speeds. Oh, and talk about a kids movie where you not one but two scenes of vehicle, like he's using the car to run over the troll. Like, he backs up to the troll, tries to run it over, and then he rams the truck into the troll between the tree. Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of dark for a kid's movie.
Well, and in the big fight, did anybody at the high school, or at the elementary school for the Halloween party, did anybody else wish the troll would have ate that fat kid?
Oh, I know, I did.
I have no heart, I have no room in my heart for movie bullies.
That was another thing. It felt like that kid, and I think it was the girl in the beginning getting chased. You could almost see them kind of breaking character and kind of smiling a little bit, like they were having fun with it when they weren't supposed to be having fun with it. That's as kids, but
and every time they sped the shots up, like the ADR in this movie is out of control.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, the ADR! If you really watch it and stare at their lips, the ADR is out of control.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention that well, but yeah.
But that brings me to my big question for you guys. Okay. And this was serious. I wrote this down. This is in my notes, too. Do you think this movie is where the term internet troll came from? Your hate only made them stronger. At the end of the movie, Ernest could only defeat the troll with kindness and love.
Oh.
You feed an internet troll with hatred.
With hatred, and they get stronger. Yeah.
Now, I present that question to you.
I think we just cracked the code.
Are those two guys from the department store the equivalent of clickbait?
I would imagine so. This movie was so ahead of its time. Now, I present that question to you because I gotta read this trivia to you, right? I was searching for Ernest Scared Stupid trivia.
Oh, okay.
Many people believe, and I wrote this in my notes before I looked up the trivia, but many people believe the meme troll face came from this film. See?
Well, it did.
Dude, I was right on the money.
It did, really. Because he doesn't really say troll face.
Was that the first movie where trolls, appeared?
No, it's not. There was no.
Also, Nat and I were talking about this. Here's a peek behind the curtain, you guys.
Okay.
Nat and I were talking about this before the show. This was the last Ernest film released in theaters.
Yes.
Do you know why, Andy?
Why?
Nat?
Oh, because, like we were saying before, the movie seemed too dark for parents.
It was too scary.
Too scary and for kids. So after that, it just all his other movies just went straight to video. And you notice
but thank God it did, because we still got Slam Dunk Ernest.
Yeah, and I was gonna
cover it later.
And I'm making after this movie, the quality kind of went down because they just Ernest Scared Stupid is a really good movie.
Yeah.
And the other ones, they just kind of dumb it down more.
Now, this is the last thing I'm going to say to you guys.
No, I got one more thing to say.
Did you know in the original script, Trancher, the troll, was originally supposed to dig up dead children to feed his army, and Ernest was a caretaker for a cemetery, but Touchstone said that was too dark.
That is too dark.
Can you imagine what that movie looked like?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
One
Matt.
more. I think one of my favorite scenes is the intro with the credits, with the music and stuff. And the only reason why I think it's one of my favorite is because you can tell it was shot in one day, like less than 3 hours, and they just told Ernest, do funny faces in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And he just went, and that to me, I can just imagine the shoot, like, all right, how much footage do you want? Just go crazy, Ernest. Just go, Jim. Just do funny voices and funny faces. Go.
He probably went on and on.
Yeah.
He never knows when to quit.
He never knows.
We obviously have an opinion on this, but we want to check in and see what some other people also thought. Do they agree with us? Do they disagree with us? So I pulled 2 reviews, 1 5-star, 1 1-star. Let's get into this 5-star. It's called De Niro should and in truth must remake this. De Niro should and in truth must remake this or any of the Ernest movies. Could this Academy Award winner capture the spirit, facial expressions, and passion that Ernest brings to this film? This is the test for this Hollywood and, more importantly, New York icon. Ernest could have pulled off The Godfather or Goodfellas, but he didn't need to. He could have romanced Meryl Streep, but can De Niro pull off the Ernest persona? I think yes. De Niro accepting another award on behalf of Ernest and all of the hunts halls of this crazy showbiz world. Comedy is a difficult medium. All hail Jim Varney. 5 stars. There's your Amazon review. Now, in case, Andy, you did make a face, so in case you disagree and you didn't give this movie 5 stars, there is a 1-star review pulled from Amazon as well.
Talk about trolls.
It's called Maybe Considering a Divorce. Why do I always fall for this? Fiance gives this 10 out of 10. He loved it. Maybe considering a divorce in the future. 1 star. Those are real reviews. If we had to go around the table real quick and we had to give this thing a rating. Now, where would you put this on our scale?
Well, to our scale.
On our scale.
If it's really good, it's buy in advance. Meaning you got to go see it now. If it's okay movie, wait in line or wait for it. If it's okay movie, don't need to really see it, rental, and then just plain old skip it if it's just terrible.
So what were you saying?
Buy in advance.
Buy in advance.
That's a 5-star rating, folks.
I say more in advance because it's October, Halloween, scary movies. It's a perfect one to see.
Oh, if they brought it back in theaters, I would say wait in line, not necessarily buy in advance.
You give it 4 stars?
Is that what that means?
Wait in line?
Yeah.
4 stars?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to go ahead and say buy in advance. If you see this thing in the theater, you better make sure you get your tickets in advance because it's going to be sold out. And with that, speaking of sellouts, we sold out. We're talking TV tonight.
Now let's take a break from movies and talk TV shows. TV Roundup.
That's right, you guys. We have sold out from the big budget world of movies down to the low budget world of television. We're talking about the big premieres that happened this past week because it was premiere week. All of our favorite shows are back, and now some new shows are coming in as well, and we want to talk about those. Andy, let's talk about Inhumans. This show has been critically panned across the board by every critic, by every trade, by every site. You watched it, I watched it, Matt watched it. What did you think?
I didn't like it. I went into it, I was like, okay, I'll watch it. I heard people didn't like it, but I was like, maybe they didn't like it because I saw it in IMAX and maybe it just wasn't, shouldn't have been in IMAX. But going into it, I'm like, okay, you can definitely tell they tried to make it a big IMAX spectacle and it just didn't work at all. And then on the other side of it, the writing was atrocious.
Oh, yes, it was.
Because you can get away with the low-budget, cheesy effects. Shows have been getting away with that for years. You can get away with that if you have good writing, and this show didn't.
Matt, do you agree with him? What did you think about Inhumans?
No, I agree with him. That script wasn't very good, and I felt the pacing was just slow and boring. And it wasn't too much action.
It felt like the writer copied and pasted one line in his script, and it was, look out into the distance.
Yeah.
Copy, paste. Like,
well, and I'll give him, it's hard to have a character who doesn't speak.
Yeah, but it works in the comics. Like you forget but you forget that these characters were
Paul Dano did it amazingly.
Yeah. Well, you forget like these characters come from the comics and they have a bunch of comics, so they know their storylines and they're written for like
and I haven't read the comics at all, but I know. I can just tell that they butchered the comics.
Oh, they did. They so did. There's a couple stuff that they get right with Medusa's hair and I forgot the dog.
Can we put the spoiler alert up?
Oh, sorry.
They shaved her hair. Her thing is her hair, and the first episode they shaved it.
And they on this big giant moon base, they used the cheapest clippers they had lying around.
Oh god, that's so terrible.
Like here's my thing about Inhumans. I thought it was bad casting, bad acting all around. The costume design was embarrassing. Like the costume design looked cheap. The characters were unlikable. It was a weak script, weak plot devices. The only believable character in this for me, the only believable actor in this for me was Iwan Rheon, the guy who plays Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He made the best of a bad script, and he's got one of the only good performances in this for me.
See, I didn't think the cast was bad, per se, like the casting, like the actors that they got.
Man, I just did not like that cast.
I blame the script.
Yeah, they could have done a better job with a better script.
With a better script, yes.
Right, and I'm watching this thing, and I kept checking the time. Like, I kept, every few minutes, I kept checking the time. I kept thinking, is this over yet?
Hey.
I remember looking at the clock and being like, I'm 20 minutes in?
Yeah.
It was not.
Here, before we move on, do you know who the showrunner is for Inhumans?
Yeah, right, and there's the thing. Stop giving Scott Buck work, Hollywood. Scott Buck, he ruined Dexter. He ruined Iron Fist. And now he's fucked our Inhumans.
Yeah, I was going to say he did Iron Fist.
Yeah.
He's the showrunner on there.
Well, my last point is, I'll just say, because they don't. I thought they weren't going to tie it in with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they kind of wrote it so that they could tie it in with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But
now Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is wishing they didn't.
In the universe, in the universe of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is also connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and everything that happens in there affects them. And so they live in this world where people know that there's superheroes and there's supervillains, and they saw aliens invade through the sky, and yet these people just pop up, in the middle of the city, and people are like, oh, what? Who's this? Like, you think people would be a little bit more used to that.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go from one Marvel show to another. Guys, let's talk about The Gifted. I thought this one was way better handled. Everything about this had me on the edge of my seat. I thought this was done much better than Inhumans. Believable characters, believable situations, a talented cast. There wasn't one bad performance in this for me. The budget for this show felt unbelievable. Like, they made the most of what they were given. It was like watching a 45-minute movie, but we get it once a week. I was a big fan of this. Andy, what did you think?
I loved it. I felt like this show kind of... I mean, I know it takes place after like all the X-Men movies, but I feel like it's kind of meant to lead into the world that you're in the movie Logan.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is like Fox may not believe in continuity in their universe, but as long as they keep churning out stuff like Deadpool and The Gifted and Logan, you can keep the rights. I don't care if Marvel ever gets the rights back to the X-Men. As long as Fox keeps putting out stuff like this, I'm in.
Yep. And I know it's produced, the first one was directed also by Bryan Singer, right?
And I think bringing in Bryan Singer was genius. You bring in a man who lives and breathes and knows this universe because he helped build it from ground up. That was spot on. If they could get him to direct every episode, I'd be amazed. I'd guarantee you they won't. But if they could...
He did the pilot just so he can get the paycheck when the series catches on. But still, but the fact that they got him to do the pilot and stuff, you made the episode look actually really good, like production wise and stuff, because it looked way better than Inhumans.
Oh yeah,
way better.
Right, and unlike Inhumans, I wasn't checking the clock the entire time. We came up to the end of this episode, and I thought, wait, this is it? It's over? Like, give me more.
Yeah, give me more.
I won't go too much into it, but the one fear I have about The Gifted is I know Fox likes to run those shows like 22 episodes a season. Yeah. So I fear like there's going to be a couple episodes where like, we're just dragging along. Mm-hmm. Because if it's kept to like a 10 episode or even 12, I think you can have a really good series.
Yeah, you talked about last time about like going from big budgets of movie to low budgets of television. I think some people have kind of found the middle ground where you can get away with more with like 8 episodes, and you can just throw in all your budget on 8 episodes instead of having to spread it out, over 22 episodes. All I'll say about this though is I love the cast, I love the storyline, and I love the that I almost thought that Oscar Isaac was in it.
Yeah, all I'll say is on a whole, I thought this show worked. It didn't feel clunky to me at all. Inhumans felt clunky. I thought this worked as a whole. Take notes, Fox. This is how you do your superhero shows. This works. Gotham doesn't.
I love my favorite.
Okay.
Yes, but no, my favorite scene was my favorite little Easter egg was when he got a text on his cell phone, and it was the 90s X-Men theme song. That was
great. All right, moving on. Guys, we're going to talk about another show on Fox this season. I loved it. I don't know how Nat felt. I know Andy thought it was stupid, but we're going to talk about Ghosted. Andy, why didn't you like Ghosted?
Oh, I wanted to like it, but I didn't like it because I felt like
a peek behind the curtain.
I felt like they could have done something way better with this cast and with this plot. But it felt like it was.
But it's a half hour, like, it's comedy.
You can still make it good.
It was good.
Like Arrested Development is one of the smartest half-hour comedy shows out there. It doesn't have to be that smart, but I'm saying like they can get away. They could do something better with what they have in their hands. But they're not trying to make anything better than what they did.
It may seem like I'm making excuses because I really did like the show.
Yes.
But it seems that because of the pilot, maybe they didn't have a lot of money or a lot of stuff that they could do for the pilot.
I mean, it was heavy.
It was heavy. It was fake. So, like, maybe now that they get picked up and now they have more episodes, maybe they can do more, like expand on that and stuff.
I hope so. I'll give it the 3 episode.
Look, my thing is, I thought the chemistry between Craig Robinson and Adam McKay was
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Why? Yeah. Adam McKay.
Well, he's the director.
Yeah, whatever.
But still,
Adam Scott and Craig Robinson. I thought the chemistry was spot on, man. I thought it was tight chemistry. Like those two, it's like they worked together. Tons and tons.
Yeah, they had a good chemistry,
and that you could tell. And it's like they just have been working together for years. I loved it. Was like a cross between Ghostbusters and Men in Black.
Well, and I could tell that's what they were going for.
But you didn't like that?
No, I like what I'm saying is I like the characters, I like the actors, I like the plot. I just feel like it was kind of weak and dumbed down a little bit.
That's fair. You know what? But you're better than me because you're giving it 3 episodes. If I didn't like it, I would be like, I'm out, guys. I am not watching this. So
no more Pretty Little Liars. I'm out.
I am out.
All right.
But you know what? There is another show that I'm not out on and I'm in on. Guys, it is another Fox show. Fox is like just killing it with their premieres this week. The Orville. Andy, what did you think about The Orville?
Oh, I loved it. I really did. I went into it not expecting to like it as much as I did, and what I felt was I liked what they did with it. I liked that they were kind of making it satirical and poking fun at that genre, but also what they kind of accidentally did was they were making fun of Star Trek, but what they did was they made a good Star Trek show. And they almost didn't really need all those kind of gags and pokes at it. And they could have just made that show just straight and it would have been still good.
Yeah, my thing is like, this is a smart show pretending to be dumb. And sometimes, like, my only gripe with this show is that sometimes it pays too much homage to Star Trek.
Yes.
And sometimes Seth MacFarlane will try too hard on a joke and it falls flat. But that's it. Like, that's my only gripe. I don't have too much to gripe about, but I wasn't a super Star Trek fan, so I'm not sitting here going, God, you're ruining Star Trek. I don't give a shit. Nat, I mean, what do you do? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree?
No, I like the show. It reminded me a lot of Galaxy Quest, too, of that whole, poking fun of Star Trek. But Seth MacFarlane is a Star Trek fan. He's a big fanboy and stuff. And, from the... Just from the pilot alone and stuff, you can tell how much they love Star Trek and how much they like to make fun of it, but in a good way. Playing with the tropes and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I'll say is, okay, if I'm Seth MacFarlane and my wife is Adrienne Palicki, get over it.
You know what? And on that...
You're forgiven.
And on that, that's where we go out. There's nothing left to be said. You guys, Nat and I got a movie to ruin. Hey!
Give me the amulet, you bitch!
That's right, you guys. This is Kevin and Nabru Movies. What Nat and I like to do is, if you are a new listener and you have not heard this show before, Andy hasn't seen as many movies as Nat and I have. At least not as many bad movies. Andy has seen a lot of movies, but Nat and I, our specialty is bad movies. It is old movies. It is movies from the 80s. Nat and I sat back for Halloween and we watched Monster Squad. Nat?
Movie starts just like Ernest Gets Scared Stupid. We're going back in time, a long time ago, where we meet Van Helsing, and he's taking away. He's trying to put all the monsters away and stuff with a special amulet. So he's getting this girl to read like this book, and she's reading the curse, or I guess the book of trying to get rid of the monsters. Taking away.
This movie, Andy, is kind of like, you were a fan of It. This movie is kind of like The Goonies, but has an even younger kid. Like, it has even younger kids in it. Some of them smoke. All of them curse and are constantly talking about sex.
Okay. Now,
as a fan of It, this is right up your alley.
So, like, we get from that, like, quick 3-minute scene, and then we go flash present day. We meet the kids. The main kid, I love his shirt. His shirt is Stephen King rules. And just that's it, in plain text. And I go, you know what? I love that shirt.
Yeah. Think The Goonies meets Ghostbusters meets Goosebumps.
Okay.
With a touch of Universal monsters.
So it's present day. Basically, Dracula is trying to summon back all the monsters. We got the Wolfman. We got Frankenstein. We have the creature Black Lagoon. Now, they're Universal monsters. They didn't have the rights to Universal monsters.
And so they had to kind of change them up so that they were still recognizable, but not enough to get sued for copyright.
So the kids find out because an old man, basically a descendant of Van Helsing, he's like, we gotta get rid of the monsters. We gotta put them back. We have to use a special amulet. So basically, the kids have to get together because the parents don't believe in it. You know, the kids are like, you're just making it up.
Also, Jason Hervey is in this movie. That fucking douchebag from the Wonder Years. I'm sorry. I hate Jason Hervey. He always plays the same bully. When we meet him, he smashes Fat Kid's candy bar on the ground, rips his comic up, and all you can think is, look, and I don't advocate for violence against children a lot, except when we record this show, but that kid needed to die. And when we meet the badass of the group, Rudy, he comes in, screeches his tires, does a sweet skid stop, lights a match off his shoe, and lights a cigarette.
Ooh.
He's a middle schooler. He looks like a badass. He makes smoking look super cool. Like, Nat picked it up again.
So they find out that there's a diary written by
Well, hold
Van
on.
Helsing.
I'm not done with Jason Hervey, Nat. Fucking Jason Hervey. So, he plays this character named EJ. He's the town bully. Oh my god.
Oh,
Let me tell you about Jason Hervey.
Because one of the first
thing he does is after he smashes the candy bar, so Rudy shows up and Rudy's like, hey EJ, and EJ's like, oh, hey Rudy, because he's terrified of Rudy.
Yeah.
And Rudy goes, I see you met my friend Horace. Rudy looks at him in the eyes and gives him a I will murder your whole family kind of look. And he tells EJ, you dropped your candy bar. EJ's like, Rudy, I'm not gonna. Rudy goes, eat it, EJ. So EJ picks it up, eats it off the dirty concrete. That is justice, my friend. Fucking Jason Hervey. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nat.
So they find out that there's a...
I really hate Jason Hervey. I'm sorry.
Did he play Wayne?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to picture who it was, but he just keeps... I don't know who his name.
That was my reaction every time I saw him. Oh, I'm sorry. We're just keep getting sidetracked.
Okay,
Let's move forward.
So the kids find that there's a diary written by Van Helsing how to defeat the monsters and stuff. And Dracula's going through the town trying to find the amulet and stuff, so to use it to summon all the monsters and stuff. And then one by one, all the monsters start coming. You have the mummy, you have the creature of the Black Lagoon, you have the werewolf, you have Frankenstein.
Also, and Frankenstein hates Dracula, and so he doesn't work with Dracula. Instead, he leaves Dracula and he goes and finds this little girl named Phoebe, who is the kid. He's Patrick's little sister, and he befriends her. And so then he becomes friends with the Monster Squad, which is the name of their group. and they go out to seek revenge and to send Dracula's ass packing. They do all this. We find out that in Van Helsing's diary, the thing that they have to read to send Dracula back to his time zone or wherever the hell he was from is in German, and it has to be read by a virgin.
Yes, so only a virgin can
now, the entire second act of this movie is them going around talking about who's a virgin and who's not a virgin, and it's nothing but sex, trying to figure out who's a virgin. So they find out that one kid's sister is the town floozy. They're like, oh, she's a virgin? It turns out she is. And so she's like, why do you have to ask me that? And she's embarrassed because she's not actually a town floozy. She's playing this role. Apparently it was cool to be like that in the 80s.
I mean, you had more people hanging out with you because like, hey, I could get a chance to get
cigarettes
lucky.
And sex are cool. Mm-hmm. Guys, cigarettes and sex are cool. If you listen to this podcast, I suggest you go buy a pack of smokes and get laid right now.
Wow.
Now, so what happens is, like, let's just jump super far forward.
Okay.
So they are going to a church to read this incantation, right? But the church doors are locked. They can't get in. So now they're stuck on the stoop of the church. And so what happens is Dracula and his minions and all the monsters are coming to stop them from doing this. So his sister starts reading the incantation. It's not working. They're like, it's not working. It's not working. And so the kid looks at her and goes, you're not a virgin, are you? She just shakes her head. She starts shaking her head. And he goes, what do you mean no? And she goes, well, Steve, but he doesn't count. And the little kid doesn't understand. He's like, what do you mean doesn't count? Like, that is classic Shane Black right there. That might have been my favorite joke of this entire movie.
And then for the final fight, these kids are packing. I mean, the fat kid has a shotgun, and he shoots the
Black Lagoon.
Well, they call him Gilman, but he shoots the monster, and because it's 80s and before PG-13.
Tell him who it is. Fucking Jason Hervey, hiding behind. He's in this room and he won't let Fat Kid in. So Fat Kid shoots the Gilman. Jason Hervey knocks on the window and he's like, hey, Fat Kid, good job. And he's giving him a thumbs up. Fat Kid cocks the shotgun with one hand and goes, the name's Horace. Oh!
At that moment, I wish those sunglasses would have just dropped and the cigarette Thug Life.
Oh,
so the main kid, he basically drives a wooden stake into Dracula and then brings Van Helsing's spirit, and they're trying to basically with the amulet, it creates a black hole and basically sucks all the monsters.
But the best part of this whole movie, I'm sorry, it's the end of the movie, the best part of this whole thing, Phoebe, the little girl, the 5-year-old little girl, has the amulet. Dracula is not happy about this. He picks her up. 5-year-old girl picks her ass up by the throat, looks at her, and goes, give me the amulet, you bitch. And you're just like, did what?
Well,
you are shocked.
He's a monster.
Clearly this man is a monster.
He's a monster.
Anyways, long story short, they do the incantation. You know who reads the incantation? They figure out, we need a virgin. She has to be a girl. The 5-year-old, they're like, she's a virgin, right? Yeah, I would fucking hope so.
I know.
So
when they're like, are you...
Yeah, so they give her the thing, she reads it, they teach her to read German somehow, and she reads it, Dracula goes packing back to Transylvania, and that's the end.
And then the army shows up. What makes it seem great is
who are you kids?
Yeah.
He hands him the card. What's he say, Dad?
We're in the Monster Squad.
Cue the music, roll the credits. Oh, it was so good. Andy, based off of this review, would you see the Monster Squad?
One question. Did you say that it was a Shane Black movie?
Yeah.
It was written
by Shane Black.
It was written by Shane Black, but directed by Fred Decker.
Who directed The Creeps.
Yeah, Night of the Creeps and RoboCop 3.
I don't know how
you can leave RoboCop 3 out of it.
I don't know how I haven't seen this movie.
It's actually again, it's an 80s movie before PG-13.
Yeah.
If it was today, it would be a hard PG-13, because they say,
Nat, I'll cut you.
Fine. They say a racial slur,
a homophobic slur,
a bunch of shit, and goddamn it,
it's a hard. Rudy is spying on Patrick's sister, the one who is changing naked in front of the window all the time. He's taking pictures of her, super pervy stuff.
Yes.
Also, this might change your mind before you answer. Did you know Liam Neeson was paid for a small role in this film, but it was never shot? Also, he was considered for Dracula, but he lost out on it. So, knowing all of that, would you see this movie?
Yes, I'm probably gonna go watch it this weekend.
On our rating system, nice. Andy, what would you give this? Based off of what you heard from Nat and I talking over each other, ruining yet another film for you.
Based on our rating system, but thinking about it being coming out in 1987, and you probably couldn't get your tickets in advance back then, I'd say probably wait in line.
There you have it, folks.
Oh, and to the listeners, it is streaming on Hulu. You can rent it on iTunes, Amazon.
I think I might make my wife watch it with me tomorrow.
I think if there's any open blockbusters, I'm pretty sure they have it. But but yeah, that's the way you can, if you really want to see the movie, which I think people should.
And it's Halloween, guys. Watch this movie. There's no better time to watch this movie. And now, guys, it's coming up on the end of the episode. What we like to do on the end of each and every episode is we like to play a game called Taglines.
Hey, it's time for Taglines. No, Mom, it's not a waste of our time.
This is Taglines. Before we go home, we gotta play this game. We play this game each and every time we do this show. This is how we like to end the show. I lost last time, which means I had to review that episode at the beginning of this show, and now, because I lost, I get the honor of hosting this game of Taglines. Andy was our winner last time. He is our current reigning champ. Andy, you get to start. We're gonna start with you. Okay. Guys, are you ready?
Yes.
Round 1, fight.
Alright, our first tagline is, discover the truth behind the legend.
Legend of Zorro?
Ooh, that is incorrect. Nat.
Hercules?
Yikes. That is correct.
What? Yeah.
Nat gets the 5-point lead.
Oh, man.
I feel like every time I do this game, it ends very quickly.
Yes, because you're biased towards him.
Guys, our next tagline, Nat got that right. We're coming back to you, Andy. Our next tagline is, in a dirty world, he's our only hope.
Is it Ernest Scared Stupid?
Ooh. Oh. It would be good if it was, but that is incorrect. Now we are coming to you.
Steel.
Ooh, I wish it was Steel, but that is incorrect. Andy, coming back to you.
Let me go with a quote.
I'm Special Ops.
Is it Get Smart?
Incorrect.
Shoot 'em up?
Would you like a quote, or you just want to guess?
Oh, sorry, give me a quote.
Well, you guessed Shoot 'em Up, and that is incorrect. Okay. Andy, we are now coming to you.
Give me the director.
The director of this movie is Les Mayfield.
Is it The Expendables?
Very close, but incorrect. Pat.
That's a hint.
Les Mayfield.
Drive Angry.
It is usually Drive Angry, guys, but tonight it is not. And we are coming back to you.
The year it came out.
The year this movie came out was 2007.
Is it Repo Man?
Incorrect. Nat, 2007.
Oh, blanking out right now. Judge Dredd.
Incorrect. The genre of this movie is action, comedy, crime.
2007. Crank?
Sorry, bud, that is incorrect.
Wait, 2007?
2007. Action, comedy, crime.
The Man.
That is incorrect. Ooh, guys, we let that one slip by. The answer we were looking for was Codename The Cleaner.
Oh, okay.
Why did I think
Codename The Cleaner.
I knew it was something like that, but alright.
Alright, you guys, moving on. Our next tagline is, every bullet leaves a trail. Andy, we're going to come back to you.
Is it Bullet to the Head?
Incorrect.
Faster?
Incorrect. Andy?
Give me the year it came out.
The year this movie came out was 2006.
What was the tagline again?
Every bullet leaves a trail.
Fast and Furious?
Incorrect.
Wanted?
Incorrect.
Give me a quote.
Don't nobody know nobody.
I don't know, Dickie Roberts?
Incorrect. Nat, would you like your quote?
Yes, please.
Back the fuck off, I will blow you away.
National Security?
No, that is incorrect. Andy, genre? Director.
Director.
The director of this movie was Wayne Kramer.
Black Knight?
Ooh, usually another go-to, but that is incorrect.
Running Scared.
That is correct. Alright, that is 2 points for Matt. Matt, you are up to 7.
Yeah.
You are up to
Damn it,
7.
now the timeline. Oh, I should have got that earlier. Alright, go.
You are up to 7. The next tagline is, how it all began. Nat, you got that one right, so we're coming to you.
Noah.
Incorrect. Andy, how it all began.
How it all began. Godfather 2.
Ooh, incorrect.
Good answer.
Nat, what would you like?
Give me the director.
The director of this film was Brett Ratner.
What was the tagline again?
How It All Began.
Brett Ratner. Charlie's Angels?
Incorrect.
No, that was McGee. No.
Andy?
Oh, crap.
3, 2,
Money Talks?
Incorrect. Nat, what would you like next?
A quote.
Our scars have the power to remind us that the past was real.
Is this Papa Roach? No, this is a joke.
That is incorrect.
It's a joke.
Andy, coming to you. Your quote is, remarkable. I do admire your courage. Remarkable.
Tower Heist?
Incorrect.
Do I have the year?
The year this film came out, Nat, was 2002.
Rush Hour 2.
Incorrect. Oh, 2002, Andy.
That's that weird period. I don't know. Family Man?
That is incorrect. All right, Nat, we are down to the genre. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
The genre of this movie is crime, drama, thriller.
Damn it. Red Dragon.
That is correct.
Oh.
Nat, you are up to 8.
Oh, man.
Golly, got 1 point on that.
All right. Okay. Our next tagline is, one big shot, one big mouth. The switch is on.
Comes to me,
Coming
right?
to you, Andy.
Trading Places?
Incorrect. Nat, we're coming to you.
Rush Hour.
Incorrect. Andy, back to you.
Director.
The director of this film, Andy, is George Gallo.
Money Talks?
Ooh, incorrect. Nat,
Double Take.
that is correct. Double take is the answer. Nat, you are the winner yet again of another game of taglines. Now, before we continue and Nat bestows upon you the TV show of his choosing, did you guys guess the theme of this game of taglines?
Yes, all but New York, I Love You, all movies that he would probably know.
That is incorrect. The theme of tonight's game of taglines was brought to you by the films of Brett Ratner.
Well, he produced some of them, not all of them.
Yeah, they're still the films of Brett Ratner.
He probably knows Brett Ratner but better than I do.
All right, Nat, take it away, man. This is your moment.
All right. Originally, I was going to give you a show, but then I got talked into and convinced, and I thought, okay, it would be a better idea.
Don't put this on me.
Well, because
you chose to give him this show.
Whoa, afterwards.
Keep my name out of this.
Hold on. After some consideration and stuff. All right. Ash versus the Evil Dead. And you're going to watch Season 2, Episode 2, titled The Morgue. So have fun with that.
Okay. Our After Hours episode.
We got to get going. We're already over our time. They're shutting the studio lights down on us.
Oh, they're giving us a signal.
Dark in here.
Guys, we got to get out of here. All right. Guys, thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Last in Line. This was our first in our 2-part series for Halloween. You can find us online at facebook.com/lastinlinepodcast. Please make sure you go like the page. Also, please make sure you go subscribe to the feed in iTunes. Guys, let's wrap this up. Andy, where can the kids find you?
On Twitter and Instagram at Andy's Alter Ego.
Nat, how about you, my man?
On Twitter at Nat_Martin24 on Twitter, and then 26 for Instagram.
And
But really 31.
Shh, quiet.
And you can find me on Instagram at Hey I'm Kevin with 2 N's. You can find us next week. We're on a brand new episode of Last in Line. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.